we're going to do some changes. So as that kind of says in itself, I've been looking at the Beyond the Booster vlog and ways that I can kind of better improve the way I present to you and the way that I can then deliver more quality content over the course of the next year. And I think I've came to a few realizations. Right now, this Beyond the Booster vlog is very generic. Like, it's a one-stop shop update solution, and I don't think that quite works for you. And I don't think that works for audiences, whether that be, a person that's casual or a person that's interested in growing a business. Right now, there's too many topics covered in this video. And I think I found a way to improve that and start targeting specific audiences by having key topics covered in videos. So my new proposal for the Beyond the Booster vlog is to now make it monthly. And that means when I do have these updates, I'm looking at like more a month in review of the business specifically. That means more contentful updates, more improved analysis of the business, because there is a lot more to talk about, and I'll be looking at things like revenue, what I've made that month, kind of key sellers, what was good, the brands to look for as a TCG business, surprises, disappointments, and I can start being a bit more analytical about running a business rather than the week on week finding something to talk about what's new in the business and it being kind of like one update or two updates followed by kind of a bit of fluff. This new format, monthly, should reduce all the fluff. And it is quite a considerable difference when you look at it from a year-on-year perspective. Opposed to me making 52 generic videos, I'm going to make 12 specific videos about the business month in reviews. That's a lot more time for me to get back to start making content that's more specific, content I've been wanting to create but not necessarily had the time or availability to do so because of commitments for the business and creating these. That effort can be reinvested into producing, things like, what to do in terms of card preparation, how to clean a card, stuff that I think as a business owner I'm learning about, but I can start delivering specialized videos that can target people wanting certain things. Because when you think about it, and I do it myself, when I've got like a bowl of food and I want to eat, I want a 5-10 minute video, I want to look for something specific that I'm interested in and I want to learn about. Right now, I'm personally not delivering that message to you or other viewers. And I think that affects things like the channel's growth, but also when you look at different areas, like what am I actually giving you? These logs are great for me. I want to be able to look back and see where I came as a business, but how are you going to get benefits from this as well? And I think these changes will start to slowly improve the content quality on this channel, but also my ability to invest that time to create that quality content. So moving forward, the monthly videos will be around the 28th, last day of the month type, or maybe early month with that month in review. It'll vary depending on availability, weekends, commitments, and so on. But then every week, I'll probably do an update in terms of a TCG news specific one. So if you are interested in that side of the video, you can just have that. So it's a 5-10 minute short, snappy from an owner's perspective, why I think these are important news in our industry. Also, I'm not going to pretend that I know or I'm an expert in these areas. I'll let you know that, my Magic the Gathering knowledge isn't the best and let's learn about it together, rather than me trying to pretend and have this kind of specific guru type energy about me. And I don't think I should do that too much now. But what I want to do is let you know that not everyone's an expert, and these weaknesses can also be used as a way to enlighten myself and audiences by not knowing and showcase them surprises and discoveries. So I'm excited for that change because I do think that will massively improve the quality of life for you, the viewer, and also the quality of content. So next week, I think I'm going to start this format where I'm going to do a month in review. It's a good time to probably do that generic one, and it's probably going to be the end of the month, so maybe not this time next week exactly, but kind of just after like the 30th, 31st or whatever date this month has, because I do think that will give a lot more context to it. It's a good time to start that format. It might be a bit rough around the edges, but I think it'll give a lot more analytical context to how the business is performing, and it'll be good for you to kind of see what it's like actually running a TCG business and it just be about that. Now, I did say I would give an update just on how liquidating the stock went in terms of the last week's video, so I'll close off that loop and kind of give you a bit of context there. So last week I set a load of kind of TCG graded products that were like 9s and not particularly desirable, and I just kind of said, hey, to hell with it, let's put them all up for 99p auction and get these out the door, because this will help me raise capital to reinvest in the business or just have there for a future invoice. And I wanted to see and test a few other items, see whether maybe sending things off a 99p auction would also be a benefit for that type of product. And well, here's the results. So the MGC 9s, which were the specific category of graded items that I was selling, they seem to go for about 40% of the value of the card and graded product on average. There were some that kind of hit that threshold. There were some that, were below, some that were above, but in general, it was around the 40 to 50% mark. And I can't really complain at that. And, while I could maybe hold out for a year or two, that capital is really important now at a growing business state. So I'm happy to see that come back into the business. Now, there were a few experiments that I was doing. I wanted to see whether like a MGC 10 Art Rare or equivalent would sell well at a 99p auction because of them impulse buyers. Now, I did need to factor in a few things. One, it's the end of the month. People are quite broke. I know March has been a horrible month for me from a business perspective in terms of making sales, which usually reflects the market and other things. So maybe other people are finding March quite tight as well. It was the middle to the end of the month, so people hadn't been exactly paid yet. That's a good opportunity equally for me to make that money because it has been tighter. While I've not got any invoices due, I know I've got some coming in April, so this helps. Now, the art rares, they didn't seem to do as well as I thought they would do. So I sent a couple. It was like the Executor 10 from the Mega Brave set, the Hydrapple at a 10, and the Hops Rulu at a 10, MGC 10s. The only one that seemed to hit its value in terms of graded and the card cost was the Hops Rulu. The rest seemed to go for about 50% of the value, and them factors beforehand were kind of things I was a bit interested in exploring as to why. Now, the market's a bit low at the moment in terms of the singles, and sealeds obviously soaring. Vintages seems to be where it's at the moment in terms of these booms. But I'm definitely going to continue exploring the ARs because maybe it's not the 99p auctions, maybe it's not the higher budget kind of MG send, upper 20s prices. Maybe it's a lower 15 to 19 pounds. So I'm going to go through and set a few of these at that price, see if they sell. And if they sell, that's great because then I'll make a 50% profit margin on them because it cost me about 10 to 11 pounds to grade and buy them at bulk. And that could open up the avenue for a really good turnaround at the minimum. So stick with that. So I'll let you know as they come in at the monthly updates now, rather obviously than the weekly ones. But it'll certainly be interesting to see. Now, it has been a slow week in the TCG news space, and because where we're at right now in terms of transitioning from a weekly to a monthly vlog, I think it's probably good just to not cover it all this week because there hasn't been anything really noteworthy outside of a few big changes or like announced collabs, and they're not like massive news. So I'm going to call it the end of the vlog here. I'm really looking forward to this new format. I think you will really appreciate it too. So thank you for sticking with me. I'm really looking forward to all the new people that will probably come across this, and we'll really target this to make sure that you get a bit more insight and exploration around running a TCG business, and all the TCG news and stuff can come next. And then that'll free up time for me to be able to create other videos throughout the month. I'll probably aim for 1 to 2 specific videos on certain topics, whether that be running a TCG business, looking after TCG, grading, so on and so forth. I think this will be great. I think you should be excited just as much as I am, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.